Okay, if we can get our timers and officials to our stations. Right now my watch says about 8:27. We want to start this meet right at 8:30 so everybody knows where they should be, what time they should be swimming. Usually end up about 5 to 10 minutes ahead of the meet schedule. We did put a 10-minute break in this morning after the 50 freestyle before the breaststroke. So again, there will be a 10-minute break after event number 52, the boys open 50-yard freestyle, and before we get to the girls 13, 14, 100-yard backstroke. So if I can have all my timers and officials, please get to your stations and we'll begin this show.
Okay, good morning and welcome to, session number 5 of the Keystone Aquatics New Year's Invitational. We appreciate you joining us this morning. We've got Facebook Live and YouTube up and running. If you just search Keystone Aquatics, will be the first result for either. So if you're just getting started and maybe helping a family member navigate, those links should be easy to find. If for whatever reason you're having trouble with one, the other should work for you. But we'll be getting started in just 1 or 2 minutes. And our first event this morning is going to be event number 41. That's the girls 13-14 200 freestyle. And again, session number 5 of the Keystone Aquatics New Year's Invitational. We'll be getting started. We're pretty pleased with our punctuality so far this weekend, and this morning should be no different. We'll get started right on time in just about 1 minute.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Keystone Aquatic Center, the wonderful town of Carlisle, Pennsylvania. We'll be starting this morning's event with event number 41. That'll be girls 13-14 200-yard freestyle. There will be 3 heats in this event. There'll be 3 heats in this event, and when the starters are ready, we'll make sure all the pads are working. I think we have everything nice and clean so far. Yep, we are good to go. Rock and roll. So event 41, girls 13-14 200-yard freestyle. Heat number 1 of 3, 6 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, so as I mentioned, we're starting right on time this morning. We've got heat number 1 of the girls 13-14 200-yard freestyle. There's going to be 3 heats for this event. We've got 6 swimmers in the water for heat number 1. So in lane number 2, that's Potts Drew. In 3, Friedman. 4 is Wainberg. 5, Price. 6, Roding. And 7, Sonlin. Got our outside 2 swimmers out to the early lead, 1/4 of the way through this 200 free. So 31:09 from Katie Potts Drew is the leading split at the 50 mark. She's seated with no time, so we could expect her to, certainly understandable, she might put up the fastest time in the heat, being as she's not seated with the group. Top seed in the heat is Bree Wainberg in lane 4. She's been 2:34.85 at her best. So we'll see if any of the young ladies in the middle of the pool can break the 2:30 barrier for the first time. The leaders on the outside definitely will. So Katie Potts Drew still leads at the 100 mark with a 105.89. Could start to guess that'll put her a little maybe under the 220 mark. With 75 yards remaining, Addie Sonlin out of lane 7 is right there as well. So we'll see what shapes up for heat number 1. Okay, so as predicted, a nicely split race as well. Katie Potts Drew out of lane 2 is the first to the wall. 2:14.43. She was out in 2:05, so brings that back into 1:09. That's nice splits to see. 2:19.68 will be good for second for Addie Sonlin in lane 7. Third in the heat's going to belong to Lila Friedman out of lane 3. She puts up a new lifetime best as well, 2:30.20. 3 swimmers at the 2:30 mark, all right in the middle of the pool, so best times for all 3 of them as well. Good start to the session. Up next, heat 2.
Event 41, girls 13-14, 200-yard freestyle. Heat number 2, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay. All right, and we turn around quickly in the water now. Is heat number 2. There's 8 swimmers in this heat. Swimming lane 1's Welker, and 2 Wilhelm. 3's Lawrence, 4 Kyle, 5 Fleischicker, 6 Bonnie, 7 Worth, and 8 Conley. So we saw a 2:14 take the previous heat. The swimmer who did that was out in a 31, so we got one swimmer out faster in this group. Out of lane 5, Fleischicker was out in a 30.62, and she's got a 1 body length lead at the 75 mark. Her best has been 2:18.19. Top seed in the heat, Victoria Kyle, has been 2:17.67. And so Fleischicker keeps chopping away at that lead. She's 1:03.68. Extended it now to about a 3 body length lead with 75 yards remaining. She is certainly setting herself up nicely for a new lifetime best to top that previous 2:18. .50 yards remain now for Fleischicker. 34.01 is her third 50 split. So one more 34 would put her at 2:11. Definitely the fastest time we've seen so far, and certainly a lifetime best if she brings this home and around the same split. It's about a 10-yard lead now for Fleischicker on the second closest swimmers in the heat. The 2 racing for second are definitely going to be Kyle and Worth in lane 7. Worth's seed time's 10 seconds slower than Kyle's, so that'll be interesting to see how much she drops. But 2:11.89, well, that was my guess. That's what she went. 2:11.89, Fleischicker takes heat number 2. Second's definitely going to go to Worth in lane 7, 2:19.33. New best time for her by 8 seconds. Third was Kyle, 2:19.90, and Kyle's just about a second and a half off of her previous best. Okay, 2:11's now the time to beat with 1 heat remaining. Heat number 3.
Event 41, girls 13-14, 203, heat number 3 of 3. 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
In the water now is heat number 3. This is our final heat of event number 41. Got 8 swimmers again. In lane 1 is Magditch, 2's Christopher, 3 Edsall, 4 Camden, 5 Moore, 6 Fisher, 7 Hassis, and 8 Cherix. The top seeds, the first one at the wall at the 50 mark. Maddie Camden from Parkland in lane 4 has been 2:03.37 at her best. Her seed time is 2 seconds faster than the next closest swimmer in the field. The one racing her at the 75 mark is Heather Edsall in lane 3. Her previous best is 2:06. If either of them are out around a minute, they're setting themselves up nicely to get at least close to Camden's previous best. So it's 59.83. The lone swimmer who we've seen split under a minute on the first 100, Maddie Camden, does have the lead. Edsall's right there in second. So we need to see a 32 here from Camden in her third 50 if she is hoping for a best time. Well, she's got that, 30.78. So hopefully a new best time, 2:01 or 2:02, could be in the works for Camden, whose coaches I can see are excited on the side of the deck there, as she might not break 2 minutes for the first time. That's one of the all-time exciting milestones as in your swimming career, but she'll get close, and she's finishing pretty strongly here. Yep, 2 minutes, 0.75. So she's gotten herself quite a bit closer to the breaking 2:00 in the future. 2 minute, 0.75 takes the win for this event. Second goes to Fisher in lane 6, 2:04.89. So that's a best time for Fisher by more than 4 seconds. Third was lane 5, Lily Moore. She earns 2:06.49 to round out the heat. 2:00.75 wins the event for Maddie Camden out of lane 4. Nice swim for her. Up next, the boys, 13:14.2 free.
Event number 42, boys 13-14, 200-yard freestyle. Event will have 3 heats. Heat number 1 of 3, 6 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, we're turning around quickly here. Now we're on to 3 heats as well. Well, that's actually cool to see. The exact same number of swimmers are entered in the boys' event as the girls' event. So 3 heats, and the first heat's got 6 swimmers. In lane 2 is Snuffin, 3 Sober, 4 Strucko, 5 Klachvisky, 6 Grover, and 7 Scorpo. The 2 in the middle of the pool take it out, already 5 or 6 yards faster than the next closest swimmers. 30.2 and 30.4 were the 50 splits for Michael Strucko and Daniel Klachivsky. So they're going to, be keeping their eye on each other, racing the young man in the lane next to him. Their previous bests have been 2:15 and 2:27. 100 splits 1:03.5 for Strucko, who's leading at the halfway point. I expect 2:15 will fall for him. That previous 2:27 is definitely going to get be beaten for Klachivsky as well. The race for third is between the 2 swimmers on the outside of them, Sober and Grover. Okay, so a nice race coming together, though, with 50 yards remaining for Michael Strucko. He's 136.52 at his 150 split. So he'll be looking to break 2:10. as he has been, again, 2:15 at his best. He'll definitely take heat number 1. And second will definitely go to Klaczewski, who's been 2:27, so he'll top that as well. 2:08.74. So a really nice finish and a well-paced race for Strucko as well. Remember, he was out in a 1:03, so he brought that back in a 1:05. Nice job, Michael Strucko, showing his potential to grow up to be a distance swimmer. 2:12.88 takes second for Klaczewski in lane 5. Third is going to finish right now. That is Sober in lane 3. He's 2:33.72. 2:35.04 is good for fourth for Jonathan Grover. So a big drop for Grover as well. He was seated at 2:48.
Event number 42, boys 13-14, 200-yard freestyle. Heat number 2 of 3, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 2. Swimming in lane 1 is Kunin, 2 is Hicks, 3 Bratt, 4 King, 5 Kermakov, 6 Radnovich, 7 Desklus, and 8 Bassiner. The leader at the 75 mark by a good margin already is Brady King out of lane 4. His previous best is 2:04, so if he can break a minute in the first 100, he'll be in good shape to lower that. Well, he's definitely going to break a minute. The question is just by how much. 55.74. So if Brady King brings this race back with some stamina, which, well, at the 125 mark, it looks like he's in good shape. He's going to crush 2 minutes for the first time. So that'll be something to celebrate later this afternoon. Second place is Grant Kermakov, but all Radnovich and Bassiner are both racing for third at the moment. 50 yards remain. 125.80 is the 150 split for Brady King. So if he's got anything left in his legs here, he could be as quick as 155. He could be, right around 155, 156 would be my guess. Not a nicely swum race for Grant Kermakov as well. He might not break 2 minutes, but he's certainly going a best time. Yep, Brady King, 155.62, brings it back into 29.82. Kermakov brings it back pretty aggressively as well. I said he might not be under 2. He's 159.33 with a 29 final split for him as well. Third goes to Radnovich. He's 2:02.26. How about a 5-second drop for him as well? So some really fast times go up in that heat. 155.62 will definitely place Brady King into this final heat. Up next, heat number 3.
Event number 42, boys 13-14, 200-yard freestyle. Heat number 3 of 3, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 3. Swimming in lane 1's Herman, 2's Wojnowicz, 3 Pletz, 4 Todd, 5 Miner, 6 Cummings, 7 is Taylor, and 8 Miller. The leader at the 50 mark, 25.51 was the 50 split for Braden Todd from Keystone. His previous best is 155.15. 155.88 is the seed time for Daniel Miner in lane 5. So we'll see if they step up to the test based on that good time Brady King put down in the previous heat. 53.89 is the 100 for Braden Todd, so he outsplits King's time from the previous heat at the 100 mark. So we might see maybe as many as 5 or 6 swimmers in this heat break 200. Yeah, but Braden Todd is setting himself up nicely for a new lifetime best. He puts down a 29.08 for his third 50 split. Interesting to see if he can go 28 in the final 50. 122.97 was the 150 split. He could be as quick as 151 probably. The race for second features 3 swimmers. Pletz, Miner, and Cummings are all going to finish together, but it's Todd the whole way. 151.50, 28.53. So he swims that really nice and aggressively in the second half. The second place finisher is actually Cummings in lane 6, so the Keystone swimmers go 1-2. 156.33 will be a nice best for Cummings as well. And Miner is there for third, 156.50, just a tenth and change behind Cornelius Cummings. So 151.50 takes the event. Braden Todd putting together a very nice swim.
Event number 43, girls 200-yard freestyle. We will have in 3 heats. Heat number 1, 3 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, so we're going to have 3 heats all the way through the board for 200 freestyle. Event number 43 is the girls open 200 free. We've got 3 15-year-olds here in the first heat, and they're all from swimming for fast. In lane 3 is Van Pelt, 4 is Moltaire, and 5 Brower. 2:24.23 is the seed time for Brenna Moltaire out of lane 4. The leader, as we approach the halfway point, is Piper Van Pelt. You imagine the nerves aren't too high in this heat, being as all 3 of them probably train together. 3 teammates from fast. Van Pelt's got the lead at the 100 mark at 108.04. Okay, so we're going to see the finish now for heat number 1. Van Pelt had the lead at the 100, and she's going to hold it the whole way. 2:23.41 is a nice best time for her, but Right behind was Moltaire, good for second, 2:25.17 and 2:25.90. Will earn a best time for Abby Brower in lane 5 as well. Nice first heat. Up next, heat 2.
Event number 43, girls 200-yard freestyle. Heat number 2 of 3, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 2. Looks like we're missing one swimmer. Okay, so we're missing lane number 6. But in lane 1's Tucci, 2's Hayner, 3 Terezas, 4 Fulton, 5 Price, 7 is Blake, and 8 Nash. There's one swimmer or 2 swimmers out in a 28.57 is the fastest first 50 split for Maddie Price at a lane 5. But the 3 swimmers with the top 3 seed times are definitely the 3 forming the race for first place. Terezas and Fulton are both going to be there at the 100 as well with Price. And they are all going to be they're all going to be separated by just about a half a second. 1 minute, 0.79. Price still has the lead. 1/100th behind her is Terezas, so literally just about tied at the 100 mark, and Fulton is half a body length behind. So this group of girls have been seated at, Fulton and Price have been 2:07, and Terezas has been 2:09 at her best. She's actually overtaken the lead now by a quarter of a second. So Olivia Terezas in lane 3 could be setting herself up nicely for a new best. 2:09.70 is the mark we want to beat for that. Fulton has just dropped back about 2 body lengths behind the 2 leaders. So it's going to be Price and Terezas at the finish, and Price had a nice aggressive final 25. She goes a best 2:04.98, or 2:04.96, 2:05.22, earns a nice best time for Terezas as well, and Fulton rounds out those top 3 at 2:07.81, just half a second off of her previous best.
Event number 43, girls 200-yard freestyle. Heat number 3 of 3, final heat, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is the final heat, heat number 3. In lane 1, Salona, and 2 is Ford, 3 Norris, 4 Colvard, 5 Kill, 6 Yurkonic, 7 Walls, and 8 Hollister. See the lone 27 first 50 split we've seen so far in this event. 27.69 is the first 50 for Chloe Colvard. Oh, she's the top seed as well. She's been 156.43 at her best. But plenty of swimmers still sticking right at Colvard's hip as we approach the halfway mark. Norris and Ford are both there, as well as Yurkonic up in lane 6. Okay, 50 yards remain now, and Colvard has established a 2-second lead. Actually, almost exactly 2 seconds, 128.50. So she might, depending on how aggressively some of her fellow racers finish the race, she might be the only swimmer under 2 minutes in this field. As Chloe Colvard looks set up for about a 158. Okay, so we see it all come together here. Colvard does touch first after leading the whole way. 159.23 is the winning time out of lane 4. Second was Yurkonic in lane 6, 201.33. Third, Norris, 201.72.
Event number 44, boys 200 yard freestyle. Heat number 1 of 3 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, so as we've seen in all the previous 3 events, we got it again. Event number 44 is the boys 200 freestyle, and there's going to be 3 heats. Heat 1's got 3 swimmers, Harris and Piccolo and Butterworth. Piccolo's previous best is 2 minutes, 0.76. If I was coaching Mr. Luke Piccolo, I might have a goal time under 2 minutes in mind. And as of right now, he is going to definitely be close to that territory. We'll see how strong he swims the second half. 58.63 is the 100 split for him. 101.66 is where Butterworth finds himself at the halfway point. Alexander Harris up in lane 3 has a previous best time of 2:45.62. So out in 111, I'm pretty confident that'll fall as well. So he's setting himself up for a best time. 130.79. So Piccolo was out quick, and see what he's got in the fourth 50. He popped up a bit there in the third as far as the pace goes, but certainly still leads the group. 135.70 was the 3/4 of the race split for Xander Butterworth. The field separated early and it stayed consistent. It's definitely going to be a comfortable win for Piccolo. 201.98. 207.40 is going to be good for second for Xander Butterworth. So we haven't, not quite a best time yet in this group. But the first best time will likely go to Alexander Harris, 15-year-old in lane 3. Like we said, the previous best is 2:45. He could be as quick as 2:35, I think, here. Yeah, he's definitely going to be. So maybe a 10-second drop for Harris. 2:34.77 to round out heat number 1. Nice swim for him. And we are on to heat number 2.
Event 42, boys, event 44, boys 200 yard freestyle. Heat number 2 of 3, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, so we're on to heat number 2 now. The times look like they'll drop quickly based on the seeds here. There's 8 swimmers. In lane 1's Ames, and 2 is a different Piccolo. That's Joseph Piccolo. 3's Weatherhold, 4 Steiner, 5 East Step, 6 Texter, 7 Hubble, and 8 Schreiber. 25.05 is the fastest first 50 for the top seed in the heat. So Aaron Stinner out of lane 4 is out in 25.0, and his previous best is 152.51. He has a lead, but it's not by a ton. 5 or 6 other swimmers racing for second right now. So they'll all be just about a second and a half behind Stinner at the 100 mark. 52.68 is a quick first 100. Like we said, he's been 152. So if he can bring this second 100 back in a 59 or faster, he'll be looking at a best time. Might be around 150, which would be good to see. Yeah, he definitely set himself up nicely here. So 121.79. If the final 50 is a 29 as well, it'll be a new best for Stinner. Second now is East Step, who has just about a half a body length on 3 other swimmers in the field. East Step's best is 153.04. I think he might touch around 154. So the rest of the heat will put up some nice times, but might fall slightly short of their best. 150.71 is the winning time in heat number 2 for Stinner. So he does bring it back nicely with a 28.92. Second was East Step, 153.87. So he's just 0.8 off his previous best. Third was Camden out of lane 7. Or no, I'm sorry, Camden's in the following heat. Third was Schreiber out of lane 8, 154.20. So actually a nice 3-second drop for Jack Schreiber in lane 8. But Stinner takes the heat. Up next, heat 3. Okay, in the water now is heat number 3. 8 swimmers again. In lane 1's Ryan Lee. 2, Fagboen. 3, Desclose. 4, Farina Jr. 5, Papa Nicola. 6, Welker. 7, East Step. And 8, Camden. We saw Brandon East Step in the previous heat. This heat, we've got Colby East Step in lane 7. First time today, we've seen some folks out in 24 at their feet. The fastest of all those 24s, 24.23 for the swimmer in lane 5, Marcus Papanicolaou, who we saw some nice swims from yesterday. But the race right now features at least 3 swimmers vying for first. Up in lane 2, Fagboen is right there as well, and he is just 4/100ths behind Papanicolaou at the 100 mark. They're both 51.1 and 51.2 for Farina Jr. So as mentioned, all 3 of them separated by 1/10 of a second, with 75 yards now remaining. Interesting to point out, Papanicolaou is actually a 14-year-old racing up in the open division. So this will be the first time today we've seen a few swimmers under the 150 mark in the 2 free. Most interestingly, Charles Fagboen up in lane 2 is the only swimmer who hasn't broken 150 in the past. So 150.19 is his seed. See if he can hold on for a 149 or better. 145, oh, he easily will. 147 will be the new best time for him. 145.25, though, takes the heat for the 14-year-old Papanicolaou. So he's just 1/100th of a second under his best. So it is something to celebrate for him. It's always nice to drop, regardless of the amount. 145.61 will be good for second for Farina Jr. in lane 4. And it was Fagboen up in lane 2, 147.83, who crushes 150 for the first time in his swimming career. It's exciting new best. We're done with the 200 freestyle.
Event number 45, girls 13 to 14, 100-yard butterfly. We'll have 3 heats. Heat number 1, 4 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
I'm just going to go pass out.
Okay.
Okay, we turn it right around now to 4 events of 100 butterfly. We've got 4 fast swimmers, all in heat number 1. Burns, Price, Worth, and Wainberg will kick off butterfly for us. There's going to be 3 heats of event number 45. Okay, so heat number 1's shaping up now. 2 swimmers have finished. We're cheering on the final 2 here now. 1:16.25 is the winning time for Ella Worth, who takes 11 seconds off her previous best. Claire Price puts up a best time as well, 1:17.82. Best time for Maddie Burns up in lane 3. She's 1:27.98. And Bree Wainberg will round out the group at 1:54.54 to take 4th. Up next, heat number 2.
Event 45, girls 13-14, 100-yard butterfly. Heat number 2 of 3, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 2. 8 swimmers in lane 1's Kyle, 2's Friedman, 3 Fickett, 4 Leonard, 5 Shapiro, 6 Harshman, 7 Welker, and 8 Bonnie. Top seed in the heat, Allie Leonard in lane 4, who's been 1:10.98 at her best. Fastest first 50 belonged to Harshman in lane 6, 32.58. Her previous best is 1:16, so she's going to shatter that right now, I think. She's only got 20 yards remaining. Closest to her is the top seed, Allie Leonard in lane 4. And Gwendolyn Shapiro in lane 5 will round out the top 3 spots. They separated themselves early, and they have stuck in the lead. 1:09.17 is the new best time for Maddie Harshman. That's exciting. 1:10.40 and 1:10.74 are second and third for Leonard and Shapiro. So Leonard and Shapiro both take about a half a second or a second off their previous bests. 3 for 3 best times, but it's Harshman who takes 7 off her best and takes heat number 2. 1 more heat remaining.
Event 45, girls 13-14, 100-yard butterfly. Heat number 3 of 3.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 3. Swimming in one is Rasmussen, 2's Carlos, 3 McCottry, 4 Kill, 5 Bueller, 6 Cheplik, 7 Hassis, and 8 Christopher. We got one swimmer under the 30 mark at the 50 split, and it's by a big margin. 28:36 is Samantha Kill's 50 split. She's the only swimmer in the event seated under a minute. 59:64 is her best, and she's got a 5-yard lead on the next closest swimmer in the heat with 25 yards left. The race for second is going to be between at least 4 different swimmers. Looked like at the 75 mark, it might have been Sophia Carlos who had the second place spot. 1 minute, .73 will finish it up for Samantha Kill, who wins the event in commanding fashion. Second was Carlos, 1:05:23, so a big best time for her as well. Third belongs to Cheplik, 1:05:33. So all in the middle of the pool, with the exception of Kill, who won the event. And, once you start putting up those elite times, it's, hard to get the bests. But second and third, drop a couple seconds off their previous best. Samantha Kill takes the event, 1 minute, .73.
Event number 46, boys 13-14, 100-yard butterfly. 2 heats. Heat number 1, 6 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, so we're only going to have 2 heats of the 13-14 boys 100 freestyle. Heat number 1 has 6 swimmers. Lane 2 is Cummings, 3 Radnovich, 4 Nash, 5 Hicks, 6 Friday, and 7 Pozluzny. $29.56 is the first 50 split for Cornelius Cummings. He's, as we've seen throughout the weekend, seated with no time, so sometimes those no-time swimmers do take heat number 1. But he's definitely got a race from Colin Nash, the top seed in the event in lane 4. Colin Nash's previous best is 1:06.70. And Nash has a nice long stroke. Maybe he's got a 200 butterfly in his future, and that long stroke serves him well as he takes over the lead in the second half. 1:02.84, so just a little 4-second drop for Colin Nash to take heat number 1. Cummings puts up what I'll call best time 2 since he was seated with no time, 1:04.56. Third will go to Hicks, 1:06.68. Best for him as well.
Event 46, boys 13-14, 100-yard butterfly. Heat number 2 of 2, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Alrighty, so this is our final heat for the 13-14 boys. In the water for heat number 2. In lane 1's Kunin, and 2 Gaudian, 3 Pletz, 4 Franchetti, 5 Vickner, 6 Taylor, 7 Miller, and 8 King. Saw a nice 200 free from King earlier, so hopefully he's not too gassed from that. As we approach the halfway point, 27:79's the fastest 50 in the group for Franchetti, the top seed. 59:43 is his best. It'll probably take a minute to win the event, so we'll just see who's the one who breaks it. Looks like with 25 yards remaining, it's still Franchetti's race, but Vickner is sitting at about his shoulder. Third looks like it's going to belong to Gaudian up in lane 2. Yep, 59.11 and 59.44 are the first place and second place times for Franchetti and Vickner. Third went to Gaudian, but the pad didn't match up or something. So he was around minute 101 territory. And his previous best was 103 regardless. So for those James Gaudian fans at home, just whenever that time gets reported, expect it to be a new best. But we saw best times in the middle of the pool as well. 59.11 and 59.44 round out the 13-14 boys 100 fly. Up next, the open girls.
47, the girls 100-yard butterfly. 3 heats. Heat number 103, 4 swimmers.
Okay, so we've got 4 swimmers in the water for heat number 1 of 3 of the girls' 100-yard butterfly. Got a 12-year-old in this heat down in lane 6, but the 4 swimmers are in lane 3, Molterre, 4s, Fulton, 5s, Hetzel, and 6, Brashear. Fulton's established the early lead by a good margin. Her previous best is 113.09. That's going to fall based on that first 50 of 31.11. Okay, so at the finish, it's a big best time for Samantha Fulton. She's 1:07.28, takes 6 seconds off her previous best. 1:14.66 is going to be the second place time for Hetzel. And a third place finish of 1:25.04 gives Brenna Molterre a best time by a few tenths. And 1:30.98 is the big best time for the 12-year-old in the group, Joanna Brashear in lane 6. Up next, heat 2.
Event number 47, girls 100-yard butterfly. Heat number 2 of 3, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, heat 2's in the water now in lane 1. Mancinelli in 2, Hayner, 3s, Machin, 4, Norris, 5, Crawford, 6, Radnovich, 7, Tucci, and 8, Dymek. Top seed in this group, Mimi Norris, 103.95 is her best. She leads at the halfway point, 29.08. So she might be looking at a new best as there are just about 25 yards remaining for Mimi Norris. And it's the top 3 seeds in the heat who've got the top 3 positions right now. On either side of Norris are Machin and Crawford. They've been 106 and 105 at their best. We'll see if that falls too. So that 103.95 was the previous best for Mimi Norris. Now it's 103.43. So she takes a half a second off her best. 106.27 will earn second place, and 106.66 will be third. That was Machin in second and Crawford in third. So a slim best time for Mimi Norris, but half a second's still something to celebrate as we turn to heat number 3.
Event 47, girls 100-yard butterfly. Heat number 3 of 3, final heat, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, so now we're on heat number 3 of the open women's 100 butterfly. In lane 1, we've got your Conic. 2 is Shime. 3, Sheridan. 4, Kill. 5, Routson. 6, Farina. 7, Turner. And 8, Walls. As we've seen several other times this morning already, the leader at the halfway point's the top seed. Isabella Kill is out in 27.93. Her best has been 56.34. We might see more like a 57 win this event, as Sophia Routson in lane 5 is piecing together a nice second half. She's right there too. And Routson might overtake Kill for the win here. Okay, it's going to be 59.76 for Routson, 100.12 for Kill. That's 1 and 2. Third actually was up in lane 7, Turner. Turner is 101.50. So we've seen him before, and we see it again. Routson taking some event wins here and toppling the top seed, but Kill holds on for second. Up next, the Open Boys 100 Fly.
And number 48, boys 100-yard butterfly. 3 heats, heat number 1 of 3, 3 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
All right, so we're going to see our final 3 heats of 100 butterfly here. This is the boys open. In heat number 1, there are 3 swimmers. In lane 3, Sing Lee, and 4, Price, and 5, Butterworth. Price is an 11-year-old, and he's the only swimmer with a seed time. That's how he got stuck with the 17 and 16-year-old. They're both entered with no time, so whatever they put up will be a new best for them. It's definitely going to be Michael Singley up in lane 3 taking heat number 1, and he might be right around the minute mark, so a pretty good swim out of heat 1. Elijah Price, the 11-year-old, has been 144.38 at his best. Well, he's going to crush that, so that's exciting. Just see by how much. 101.37 takes heat number 1 for Singley up in lane 3. Butterworth wasn't far behind, 106.92. Again, Butterworth was also seated with no time, so we'll chalk that up as a new best. And it's Price into the finish now, and I'm cheering for the 11-year-old who, well, how often do you go best time in 100 by 24 seconds? 120.35 is the new 100 butterfly time for Elijah Price. Up next, heat 2.
Event number 48, boys 100-yard butterfly. Heat number 2 of 3, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
All right, we got a full pack in the water now for heat number 2, and these are all 15 and up swimmers. In lane 1's Colvert, and 2 Ames, 3's E-Step, 4 Purval, 5 Stinner, 6 E-Step, 7 is Peeklow, and 8 Zupnik. Top seed in the heat's 56.28, Ian Purval. And the lead by a small margin belongs to Stinner in lane 5. 26.37 is his 50 split. He's been 56 at his best as well. So if either swimmer brings it back in a lower 29, they'll be looking at best times. Could be 55 for the first time in their career. Third place in the heat is going to be either E-Step or E-Step. How do you like that? 56.78 takes the win for Stenner, who led narrowly at the 50. He wins narrowly over Purval, who was right in second the whole time. 56.89, so they're both 56s, and Stenner's best time drops by 3/100ths of a second, and it was The older of the two E-steps up in lane 3, Colby E-step, who took third in the group, 58-13. Up next, heat 3.
Event number 48, boys, 100-yard butterfly. Final heat, heat number 3 of 3. 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Alrighty, in the water now, seat number 3 in lane 1 is Piclo. 2's Fagbon. 6 Schattenberg. 4 Moran. 5 Welker. 6 E-step. 7 Hemingway, and 8 Hubble. So we've got our third E-step in the event. That's 14-year-old Derek E-step in lane 6, who is second at the wall. The leader is Patrick Hemingway. We've seen some speed out of him throughout the weekend so far. He's got the lead at the 50, and from my vantage point, he's got it at the 75. Patrick Hemingway's previous best is 54.73. That'll fall based on that first 50 split. The question is just by how much. Charles Fagboen up in lane 2 is closing the gap here at the end. But the win's going to go to Hemingway. A nice best time. I've got his mother volunteering behind me. She's excited as well. 52-53 will be the win for Patrick Hemingway. A nice best for him, and the coaches at Villanova have got to be excited to see that. And second was for 14-year-old Derek Estep, who puts up a best time as well, 52-70. Third belonged to lane 2, Charles Fagboen, 53-65. He takes a best by 0.2 as well. A nice final heat to round out our butterfly as we pivot back to freestyle. Okay, we're on to 50 free, and I'm just going to basically get the names off for you, and that's all I can do. In heat number 1 of the 13-14 girls, Sonlin, Burns, Harshman, Conley, Friedman, Roding, and Bowl. The leader looks like they're in in lane 1. Yep, 28-57 takes the win for Addie Sonlin in heat 1. 29-10 will be second for Harshman. Third will be Conley, 31-21.
Event 49, girls 50-yard freestyle, heat number 2 of 4. 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now, seat number 2 of the 13-14 girls, 50 free. It's Price, Fleshaker, Bonnie, Kraft, Shapiro, Murray, Wilhelm, and Weinberg. Top seed in this group's 28-76. 28 won the previous heat. So we'll see our first time if we see a 27. The leader for the heat is Olivia Kraft in lane 4, and she looks like she's going to take it all the way to the finish. Yep, 27-22 takes the win for Kraft. 28-54 will be good for second for Murray, and third is going to be up in lane 2, Fleischshaker, 29-32. Best time for her, best time for Kraft. 27's the new leader for the event. 27-22.
Event 49, girls 13-14, 50-yard freestyle. Heat number 3 of 4. 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 3. We saw 27-22 take the previous heat. Well, that would be the top seed in this heat, as we got a lot of 28s as our seed times. In lane 1's Carlos. Next is Kyle. 3 Moore, 4 Cherix, 5 Pickett, 6 Leonard, 7 Lawrence, and 8 Magditch. Top seed is the only 27 seed time in the heat. That's Courtney Cherix. But we're going to see some more 27s go up in this group. The winner is Moore, 27.52. Second's going to be Carlos up in lane 1, 27.64. 27.66 is good for third. And that was Cherix.
Event 49, girls 13-14, 50-yard freestyle. Final heat number 4 of 4. 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
The leader for the event is still Olivia Kraft. 27-22 is the best we've seen, but we saw several 27s in the previous heat. Top seed in this heat is 25-22, so we'll expect that to come down as we've got Rasmussen, Edsall, Traub, Kill, Bueller, Fisher, Camden, and Dymek. Just a commanding start and lead at the 25 mark for Samantha Kill. 25-22 has been her best. She won't top that today, but she'll be close. 25-43, the lone 25 we get in this event. Second was Fisher, 26-04. They changed the scoreboard up too quickly on me. Lane 5 was third, which is Bueller, 26-21. So Samantha Kill takes the event, 25-43.
Event number 50, boys 13-14, 50-yard freestyle. We'll have 4 heats. Heat number 1, 4 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 1 of 4 of the 13-14 boys, 50 free. It's Snuffin, Poslovsny, Grover, and Scorpo. Christian Poslovsny is the top seed. 31-34 has been his best. He's going to top that today with maybe a 28. Oh, there we go. Sneaks under. 27.98 to lead heat number 1. 33.17 will be second. 34.79 will be third. That's Grover and Scorpo, and Snuffin will come in now at 42.79.
Event number 50, boys 13-14, 50-yard freestyle. Heat number 2 of 4, 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water for heat number 2, Friday, Nash, Verma, Strucko, Desclose, Herman, Sober, and Klatschivsky. Saw a 27 take the previous heat. Well, we've got 27s in the seed times now, so maybe a 26. Yeah, it'll be a 26. 26.05 will take the heat for Herman. That's a nice best time for him. Second will be Strucko, 26.40, best time for him as well. Third will belong to lane 2, Nash, 26.60, but actually there was a tie for third, so correct you there. Ricky Verma was also in there with 26.60 as well.
Boys 13-14, 50-yard freestyle. Heat number 3 of 4, Mr. Referee, 8 swimmers.
In the water now is heat number 3. In lane 1 is Basner. Radnovich is in 2, then Bratt, then Miner, Vickner, Zolob, Taylor, and Kunin. Okay, the times are falling quickly, heat by heat. 24:60 will take heat number 3. That was Miner with a new best time. Oh, second was out of lane 6, Zolob, 25:06, big best for him as well. Third was in lane 5, Vickner, 25:45, and a small best time for him as well.
50-yard freestyle. Heat number 4, final heat. 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, now we've got heat number 4 in the water. Wojnowicz, Cummings, Kermakov, Todd, Gaudian, Pletz, Miller, and Hicks. There's going to be 123 to win the event. 23:82 is going to be the new lifetime best for Braden Todd, 13-year-old in lane 4. Second belonged to lane 3, Grant Kermakov, 24:11. Third was up right above him in lane 2, Cornelius Cummings, 24:33. So 3 best times lead the pack. 23:82 is Braden Todd's winning time for the 13-14 boys.
3 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
We're going to have 4 heats for the women. 3 swimmers in heat 1. So in this group, it is Brashear, Van Pelt, and Gordon, 3 Frederick area swim team athletes will duke it out in heat number 1. The top seed, Piper Van Pelt, 31:68. And Van Pelt's the one who leads the way, 30.41. Second will go to Gordon, 30.93, and 31.05. So I'm thinking 3 for 3 best times in that group. Brashear rounds it out with a 2-second drop.
Then 51, girls 50-yard freestyle, heat number 204, 6 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Six swimmers in the water for heat number 2. Nash, Hayner, Blake, Tucci, Machin, and Brower. Top seeds 28:34 from Blake. And the winner for the group will be Tucci, 28:74. Next was Machin, 28:86. Third was Hayner, 29:26. So they're all a little shy of their previous best. But the first swimmers in the heat, or in the event, under 30 regardless. Well, we'll see more of those in heat number 3 here. Okay, now in the water for heat number 3. Price, Walls, Terezas, McCautry, Sheridan, Fleischhaker, Crawford, and Walls. The leader at the halfway point after a real nice start's in lane 5. That's Abigail Sheridan. Well, she's a 20-year-old. She's repping for the college-age students here. 26:13 will take that heat for Sheridan. Second will be Terezas, 26.91. Third will be Crawford, 26.99. It's a couple best times in that group as well. Abigail Sheridan takes it in 26.13.
Event 51, girls 50-yard freestyle. Heat number 4 of 4. Final heat, 8 swimmers.
Okay, the final for the Open 50 freestyle for women. It's Hollister, Norris, Shimi, Routson, Ford, Farina, Colvard, and Turner. The winner for that group, we've seen it before, happens again. It's Routson by a whole second. 25-13. Second will belong to lane number 3, Shimi. That's a 12-year-old, so exciting to see that. She is a little off her best.
After event 52, we will have a 10-minute break.
And actually, it was a tie for second. Sarah Turner down in lane 8 put up a 26.20 as well. But Sophia Routson takes it again, 25-13. Okay, on to the Open Boys 50 freestyle. There's going to be 3 heats in Heat 1. It's Harris, Lehman, Piklo, Zupnik, Colvard, and Boston. 5 fast swimmers with 1 Parkland stuck in there. The winner for the heat is going to be out of lane number 7. It's Boston. He's 25-21.
Just a reminder, so there's no coaches.
Piklo.
Which is in 2 more heats, we will have a
Piklo's 25-53 to take second. Third will belong to the swimmer in lane 5. That was Zupnik, 25-97. So some best times go up right away. It was Boston who took it in Heat 1, 25-21.
Event number 52, boys 50-yard freestyle. Heat number 2 of 3, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, heat number 2 is now in the water. It's Keating, Stinner, Hubble, Purval, Camden, Singley, Schreiber, and Texter. Starting to see some real speed here with the older fellas in the water. It's hard for me to say much other than the names. 23-18 takes the heat for Camden. Second will be Stinner, 23-64. Those are some best times for the 2 of them. Third was in lane 7, Schreiber. I used 23-81, a best for him as well. Quick heat number 2. We got our final heat of 50 freestyle before a break.
Event number 52, boys 50-yard freestyle. Heat number 3, final heat, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Heat 3 in the water. It's McMillan, Estep, Schattenberg, Papanicula, Hemingway, Farina, Dobkowski, and Weatherhold. The race is going to be in the middle of the pool between Papanicula and Hemingway. They're only separated in the seed times by 1/10 of a second. It is 21:04 to take it for Papanicula. He's a 10th shy of his best. Hemingway's a 10th shy of his best as well. He's going to be 21:19. And Schattenberg will take third, 22:31. Schattenberg's about 6/10 off his best. So is a 21-0 and a 21-1 in the middle of the pool. Well, that's what normally does it in the 50 free.
Currently 9:47. We'll jump back in the pool at 9:57.
You know,
Thank you.
those of you enjoying the action at home, I'm sure you appreciate it as well. We're ready for a break. 10 minutes, and we'll resume with 100 backstroke.
Okay, if we can get our timers and officials back to our stations, we'll get started in a few minutes. We get our timers and officials back to our stations. We'll be starting with 13-14 girls, 100-yard backstroke. Event 53, girls, 13-14, 100-yard backstroke. Heat number 1 of 4, 5 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, excited to welcome you back from the break. We're going to resume with some heats of 100 backstroke. There's going to be 4 heats for the 13-14 girls. First thing we're going to see, heat number 1. Okay, welcome back from that break. Hopefully refilled your coffee or got to rest your eyes for a couple minutes, but more action to come as heat number 1 is underway for the 13-14 girls 100 backstroke. There's 5 swimmers in the water for this heat. In 2, it's Potts Drew, 3's Bowl, 4 Burns, 5 Rutting, and 6 Sonlin. As we often see, we've got some no-timers seated in heat number 1, and the no-timers lead the way at the halfway point. Fastest first split belonged to Addie Sonlin out of lane 6, 35.80. Looks like it might be Katie Potts-Drew who takes the win, though, as they get to the finish. Yep, it's Potts-Drew by 0.3 of a second. 1:13.00 will be her 100 back time now on the program. Addie Sonlin's will be 1:13.37. And 1:22.80 goes to Maddie Burns for third in the group. She did have a seed time posted, so that's a 2-second drop for Burns. Up next, heat 2.
Event 53, girls 13-14, 100-yard backstroke, heat number 2 of 4. Mr. Referee.
Okay, on to heat number 2 of 100 back. In lane 1, it's Conley, 2's Wainberg, 3 Bonnie, 4 Rasmussen, 5 Wilhelm, 6 Price, 7 Worth, and 8 Friedman. So the leader for this group is the top seed, Charlotte Rasmussen, is about 10 yards out from the finish now. And she will post a new lifetime best of 109.60, taking the heat in a commanding fashion. 115.58 will be second for Bonnie. Third's going to be Worth down in lane 7, 117.69. So they all turn in best times, and it's Rasmussen who puts up the big best, 109.60, to take heat number 2.
Event 53, girls 13-14, 100-yard backstroke, heat number 3 of 4, 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, heat 3 in the water now. We're going to have 4 heats of the 13-14 girls 100 back. In lane 1 for heat 3, Zedsall. In 2, Carlis. 3, Magditch. 4, Lawrence. 5, Jarek. 6, Kraft. 7, Harshman. And 8, Welker. We saw 109 win the previous heat. Well, 109 is the top couple seed times in this group. Addie Lawrence in lane 4 has been 109.34 at her best. The leader at the halfway point is 31.43. Well, that's the first 50 split for Georgia Magditch in lane 3. So Magditch has about a 2 body length lead on Olivia Kraft in lane 6. So it'll be Magditch who coasts the whole way into the win. 104.15. 5-second best time for her. It will be Kraft who holds on for second, 106.72. And third's going to go 1 lane up in lane 7 to Harshman, 107.51. So just all across the board. How about 4 and 5 second drops in heat number 3 of the 100 backstroke?
Event 53, girls 13-14, 100-yard backstroke, heat number 4 of 4, final heat, Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is the final heat of the 13-14 girls 100 back. It's Cheplik in 2, Fickett, 3's Traub, 4 Bueller, 5 Camden, 6 Hassis, 7 McCotchery, and an 8 Christopher. One swimmer's been under a minute historically. 59.45 is the top seed, Katie Bueller. Katie Bueller's the lone swimmer under 30 at the 50 mark. 29.28 is her 50 split. So Bueller is 2 body lengths ahead of who will definitely be second place, Maddie Camden. Her best is 1 minute .63. I think it'll be a minute to take the win for Bueller today. It is 1 minute .35, 102.15 for Camden, who was right about that amount behind the whole time. She's second, 102.15. Third is CC Traub up in lane 3, 105.07. So the win for that event is 1 minute .35. Nice commanding swim for Katie Bueller. Up next, the 13-14 boys.
Event 54, boys 13-14, 100-yard backstroke, 3 heats, heat number 1, 3 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, so fewer swimmers in this event for the 13-14 boys versus their counterparts in the previous event. There's going to be 3 heats for the 13-1400 back. Heat number 1 has 3 swimmers: Scorpo, Snuffin, and Vikner. It's another one of those situations where we got some entries in heat number 1 with no time. So Felix Vikner has no seed time, but he's winning the event by 25 yards with 25 yards remaining. So no seed time for him, but it'll certainly be a heat win. He's looking to turn in about a 105. It might be more like 103, actually. Yeah, I'm slipping today, folks. It's one of those sleepy Sunday mornings. 104.50 takes heat number 1. You know who wasn't slipping? Felix Vikner. A nice opening swim for him in heat number 1, 104.50. Next to the wall will be Scorpo in lane 3. He was seated with no time as well. He's got a time now, 130.37. And the final swimmer in the queue here is going to be Snuffin in lane 4. He'll round out the heat before we advance to heat number 2 of 3. And Snuffin is at the wall. 158.74. Heat 2.
Event 54, boys 13-14, 100-yard backstroke. Heat number 2 of 3. 7 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
In the water now is heat number 2. Swimming in lane 1 is Grover, 2's Friday, 3 Brat, 4 Radnovich, 5 Nash, 6 Klaczewski, and 7 Sober. Looks like the swimmer with the lead off of a nice start is Aiden Brat. He'll have the lead by just a few tenths at the 50 mark. 31.20 is his 50 split. 110.04 is his previous best. Fastest seed in the group is Marshall Radnovich. He's been 107.27 at his best. And now a nice second half and definitely the quickest turnover in the group for the final length. That's in lane 6. Colin Nash has turned on the burners for the home stretch here. He'll be maybe 104. 103.70 takes it for... I'm sorry, I said Colin Nash. I was referring to the swimmer in lane 6. Daniel Klaczewski will take it in 103.70. That's a big best time for him. Second does belong to Radnovich, 104.60. That's a best time by a good margin as well. And third will be Nash, 105.55. So a series of best times in that group. One heat remaining for the 13-14 boys.
Event 54, boys 13-14, 100-yard backstroke. Heat number 3 of 3, final heat, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, now off the start, we've got our final heat of 13-14 boys 100 backstroke. It's Desclose in lane 1. 2 is Miller. 3, Franchetti. 4, Kermakov. 5, Todd. 6, Gaudian. 7, Strucko. And 8, King. Top seeds, 1 minute .25. Grant Kermakov, 13-year-old in lane 4. At the 50 split, it's going to be some 28s. Well, a singular 28 belonging to Braden Todd. He's been 101.08 at his best. He's 28.60 at that 50. So it could be Todd who breaks a minute for the first time in his career, but Kurmakov is right there too. He is the top seed. He's not going to go away quietly. The race for third looks like it's between lanes 3 and 8. That's Franchetti and King. But holding on after the lead early is Braden Todd for the win and a comfortable best time, 58.62. 59.35 is going to be a best time for Kurmakov to earn second. And King will take third in 101.11. Well, 4-second drop for him, too. 2 swimmers under a minute to round out the 13-14 boys. 58.62 from Braden Todd takes the win.
Event 55, girls 100-yard backstroke. We have 3 heats in the event. Heat number 1, 6 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, so now we roll on to the open girls 100 backstroke. 6 swimmers in heat number 1. It's Van Pelt, Radnovich, Nash, Fleischshaker, Fulton, and Brashear. Unlike what we've seen normally, everyone's got a seed time, so that's good to see. Top seeds, 111.02, Hannah Nash in lane 4. Hannah Nash has got the lead at the halfway point. 33.31 was her first 50 split. She is setting herself up nicely to be under 110 and perhaps get a new best time for her. 4 swimmers seated at 111 in this group. Radnovich, Nash, Fleischshaker, and Fulton have all been 111 in the past. Fulton is going to be the one closest to Radnovich. I'm sorry, to Nash. 108.59 is Nash's winning time. 109.62 is Fulton, good for second place in heat number 1. Radnovich will cruise in at third, 111.61. 2 more heats.
Event 55, girls 100-yard backstroke. Heat number 2 of 3. 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Boys coming up in a little bit. In the water now is heat number 2. In lane 1, it's McCautry, 2, Yurkonic, 3, Mancinelli, 4, Turner, 5, Price, 6, Crawford, 7, Walls, and 8, Blake. .25 yards remain now in heat number 2. Now the leader actually looks to me like by a slim margin it might be lane 2, Yurkonic. Her best is 103. A lot of 102s and 103s seated in the middle of the pool. And the winner for the group is going to be Turner. Turner was 104.04. A nice strong finish from her. 104.46 will take second for Crawford. Third was Yurkonic, 104.38. So a packed together heat for the top 3 spots. 1/100th of a second separates second and third place. But Turner took the heat. 104.04. Up next, Heat 3.
Event 55 girls 100-yard backstroke. Heat number 3 of 3. Final heat. 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Final heat for the Open Girls 100 backstroke. In lane 1, it's Routson. 2, Terezas. 3, Kill. 4, Kill. That's Samantha and Isabella, respectively, in 3 and 4. Ford is in 5. Colvard's in 6. Shime is in 7. And 8 is Sheridan. Okay. 29.82 is the fastest first 50 split for the older of the two Kills. That's Isabella Kill in lane 4, but they're only separated by a tenth. Well, their seed times aren't separated by a ton either, 9/10 of a second. So Chloe Colvard will be right in there with the two Kills for the finish. Yep. So it was Colvard who had the strongest second half. 31.41 was her second 50 to lead her to a 101.38 to take the win. 101.79 will be good for second. Kill in lane 3. Kill in lane 4. Samantha Kill in lane 3 will take third. 101.87. They're separated by less than a tenth of a second. It's Chloe Colvard who took the win. 101.38.
Event number 56, boys 100-yard backstroke. We'll have 3 heats. Heat number 1, 3 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, we roll on to our final heats of 100 backstroke for this session. It's going to be the open boys with 3 heats, and heat number 1 has 3 swimmers. Harris, Hubble, and Lehman in lanes 3, 4, and 5. The 50 lead is definitely going to belong to Ethan Hubble. 31.21 is his 50 split. He's followed by Lehman, 34.11, and 35.68 is going to be Harris's halfway split. 104.68 is the previous best for Ethan Hubble. He's out in a 31, so he can up the turnover a bit here in the last couple strokes. He might close to his best, but I think he'll be a little short, but good enough for the win in heat number 1. Ethan Hubble's 106.55. 109.72 is second for Lehman, and Harris will be the swimmer with the best time in the heat. 113.03. His previous best was 117, so a good, nice best time for Harris. On to heat 2.
Event 56, boys 100-yard backstroke. Heat number 2 of 3. 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 2. In lane 1 is Papanicula. In 2 is Dubkowski. 3, Lee. 4, Texter. 5, Ames. 6, Haskins. 7, Estep. And 8, Piclo. Yep, we were talking about outside smoke before the heat took off, and it looks like it might be the case. Marcus Papanicula won the 50 freestyle just a few moments ago, and he's leading at the halfway point in heat 2. 26.56 is his 50 split. He might turn in about a 54 for this 100 back. So it's going to be 54.99 for Marcus Papanicolaou up in lane 1. Second is going to go to Haskins. Haskins is 58.43. Well, third will be lane 4, Texter. He's 59.42. So a 2-second drop for Haskins to earn second in the heat, but the 6-second drop for Papanicolaou definitely earns you first.
Event 56, boys 100-yard backstroke. Heat number 303, final heat. 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
In the water now is heat number 3. In lane 1's Welker, 2 Purval, 3 Moran, 4 Hemingway, 5 Desclos, 6 McMillan, 7 East Step, and 8 Schreiber. Hemingway is the fastest seed, 51.99 is his previous best. He is going to be leading at the halfway point, 25.50, surrounded by some 26s. 25.50 is the 50 split for Patrick Hemingway as he stretches into that final wall. He's got about a 1.5 body length lead on Ben Desclos in lane 5, who's just about secured second for himself, and Hemingway has secured the win. 52.29 is second. The win for Hemingway. Desclos holds on for second, 53.79. They're both a few tenths off their previous bests. Third is Moran, 52.29. Oh, I'm sorry, 55.76. I was looking at Hemingway's time again. 55.76 takes third for Moran.
Event number 57, girls 13-14, 200-yard breaststroke. There'll be 2 heats. Heat number 1, 3 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, we're changing gears completely here. 2 heats of the 13-14 girls, 200 breaststroke. 8 lengths of breaststroke, a long, controlled race here. Heat 1 has got 3 swimmers. It's Harshman, Murray, and Welker. Each swimmer in heat number 1 is seated over 3 minutes. 3:02. Sasha Murray is the fastest seed time. She's in lane 4, and she's got the lead at the 50 mark, 39.89. So he's something to cheer for here, breaking 3 minutes. Just like a lot of the other 200s of stroke, the 200 breaststroke is very much determined by the walls and underwaters. The swimming in between the walls certainly important, but it's so tempting when you're on your 6th and 7th and 8th length to, get a big breath at that wall. It's very important to get in and out quickly and continue to take advantage of your underwater pullouts. The swimmer doing the nicest job of that so far is still Sasha Murray, who's got the lead, but it's Maddie Harshman, who's seated 10 seconds behind Murray, is only following her by about 3 seconds. So Harshman could be looking at a new best as well, but Welker is not far behind either, with 50 yards remaining in heat number 1. Okay, so we're approaching the finish now. It was Murray from the start, and she's going to put up a nice best time. 2:54.84 will be her new 200 breaststroke mark, and 2:57.12 will be the new best time for Harshman. Both of them eclipsing 3 minutes and by a good margin. 3:06.88 will round it out for Harper Welker, who, 2-second drop is something to celebrate as well. 1 heat remaining of the 13-14 girls 200 breaststroke.
Event 57, girls 13-14, 200-yard breaststroke, heat number 2 of 2. 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, so as we mentioned, there's only 2 heats for this event, so this will be the final one we see for the 13-14 girls in the water. It's Hartman in lane 1, Rasmussen in 2, Fisher in 3, Moore in 4. Moore in 4, I like that. Traub is in 5, Dymek in 6, Fleischschaker in 7, and Leonard in 8. Moore is the top seed, and she's got the lead at the seed lead, Moore 4. Wow. Lots of rhymes she's setting me up for here. And she was a 34-37 at the first 50 split with about 5 lengths remaining at the 75 mark here. It's not about 5 lengths. It is 5 lengths. The swimmers seated second and third are Fisher and Traub, and they're the closest ones as we approach the halfway point. Fisher's been 2:36 at her best, and Traub has been 2:30. So 1:12.28 is the opening 100 split for Lily Moore, who's been 2:26. So she's going to have to bring it back real quickly in the second 100 to post a best time. But she's even, she's going to have to push herself just to take the win, because Paige Fisher in lane 3 is definitely not out of it. She's just about a body length and a half behind Moore. Okay, so the final positions are shaping up here with 20 yards remaining. It's going to be Moore, who took the lead early and held on the whole time, but Fisher, despite being the third seed, she'll probably get second, but CC Traub is turning it on for the last few strokes. 2:31.06 will win it for Moore. Fisher will be the one with the best time, second place, 2:33.51. She takes 3 off her previous best. And Traub will secure third, 2:34.99. So the top 2 seeds are a little bit off their best, but a new best time for Fisher in second place. 2:31.06 is the winning time for Lily Moore as we advance to just one heat, the timed final of the 13-14 boys 200 breaststroke.
Event number 58, boys 13-14, 200-yard breaststroke. Heat 1 of 1. 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, so we've just got one heat of the 13-14 boys 200 breaststroke, so can expect plenty of action here. In lane number 1 is Poslesny, 2 is Herman, 3 Wojnowicz, 4 Zolob, 5 Miner, 6 Bassner, 7 Grover, and 8 Verma. The leader at the 50 and in commanding fashion, 30.55 is Alexander Zolob. He's the seed time comfortably above the rest as well. 2:20.60 is Zolob's previous best. Being out in a 30-point, setting himself up nicely for the win, and we'll see where that gets him from a time standpoint. Second place, there's a couple of fast swimmers vying it out for second right now in lanes 5 and 6. That's Miner and Bassner. 1:04.56 is a really nice first 100 for Zolob if he's setting himself up for a new best time. And his turnover looks strong, and he's really effective wall there with 75 yards remaining. So he's not fading. He's definitely pouring it on strong in the second half. If this 50's under 37, he'll be definitely looking at a new best time. And, well, it is by a long shot. 34.51 is Zolob's third 50. Yeah, he's going to go a lifetime best, and he's going to win the event by 20 yards. Second place looks all but secured now for the second overall seed, Daniel Miner. But it will definitely be from start to finish Zolob who commands the race, and he says, give me a best time by 6 seconds. 2:14.12. It's not bad for a 14-year-old 200 breaststroke. I like seeing that. 2:14.12 takes the win. Second is going to belong to Miner, 2:32.14. Third's going to go to Wojnowicz, 2:35.38. 2:38.13 will be fourth for Bassner. Zolob's 2:14.12 leads from start to finish, and he takes the win in the 13-14 boys 200 breaststroke.
Event 59, girls 200-yard breaststroke. There will be 2 heats. Heat number 1, 3 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, we've got 2 heats for the open girls 200 breaststroke, but this first heat doesn't look like the typical 15 and up because we got 2 12-year-olds out of the 3 swimmers. It's Shime in lane 3, Gordon in 4, and Moltaire in 5. We've seen several events where 12-year-old Alex Shime has been seated in the top heat, so she commands the lead early in heat number 1, but she's got seated with no time, so maybe if she had done the event before, she'd be in heat number 2, but she's definitely going to take heat number 1, it looks like, as the race will be Gordon and Moltaire for second. Gordon's got the lead right now as we approach the halfway mark of heat number 1. Okay, so we've got 50 yards remaining in heat number 1. It's been Alex Shime with the lead throughout. 2:06.46 is her 150 split, so she'll look to finish right around a 2:50 for her 200 time. Lead for second has stretched for Gordon. And Moltaire will round out the group in third. She's got 25 yards remaining now, and about 5 yards remain for Shime. She is 2:51.75 to post a new time for herself in the 200 breaststroke. 3:01.20 will be second for Ava Gordon. Her previous best was 3:07, so exciting to see that. 3:12's the best time for Moltaire, but, well, it's not her best time anymore. Best time's 3:10.86 to round out the heat. We'll say 3 for 3 best times. Up next, heat 2.
Event 59, girls 200-yard breaststroke, heat number 2 of 2, 6 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, we are in the home stretch of our morning session here as we're in the final heat of the Open Girls 200 breaststroke. There are 6 swimmers in the water for this one. It's Machen in 2, Walls in 3, 4's Farina, 5 Salona, 6 Tucci, and 7 Brower. Gianna Farina is the top seed. Her best is 2:24.49, and she leads at the first 50 mark by 2 whole seconds. 34.65 is her first 50. You'd think she'd want to turn in around a 1:10 on the first 100 if she was to eclipse her best time of 2:24. So not exactly out on pace for the best time, but certainly out on pace for the win. It's a nice long underwater pullout. Propels her toward the halfway mark of this race. Second right now belongs to Lauren Walls in 3, and Salona in lane 5 will be in third at the halfway point. 1:13.71 is the 100 split for Gianna Farina. Okay, just about 35 yards remain until Farina secures the win in the open women's 200 breaststroke. Hanging out in second pretty much the whole way has been Lauren Walls. She actually is going to go a nice best time. So 2:51.03 is her seed, and she's going to be around 2:40. So that'll be a big best for her, but the win is definitely going to be Farina's. 2:34.17 will be the winning time for her. 2:43.56 will be an 8-second drop and a second-place finish for Lauren Walls. Gabrielle Salona is 2:47.08 for third. The rest of the heat is approaching now, and we've just got 2 more heats of 200 breaststroke, Heat 1 and Heat 2 of the open boys.
That brings us to our final event of the morning session, event number 16, boys 200-yard breaststroke. We'll have 2 heats. Heat number 1, 6 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now, we've got the first of 2 heats of the boys open 200 breaststroke. 6 swimmers in this group. Colvard's in 2, Irwin's in 3rd, Schattenberg's in 4, Zupnik in 5, 6 is Lehman, and 7 is Boston. Okay, so it's Schattenberg at the halfway point in commanding fashion. He's 105.34 for the 100 split. 227's listed as the best. That's going to fall today. The question is if he is, how much he's under 220 probably. The race for second is neck and neck between the swimmers on his left and right. That's Irwin and Zupnik. 2:34 and 2:32 are their seed times. So we'll see if they can break 2:30 for the first time. But with 50 yards remaining in heat number 1, Schattenberg has secured the lead. He's 37.21 for his third 50. So it could be 2:19 if he turns in another 37 here. So we were commenting on how Schattenberg was seated in Heat 1 here, even though he won the 200 individual medley yesterday. So perhaps his breaststroke time is a little old, and as old things do, it's going to expire. As he will finish right around 2:20.55 for his new 200 breaststroke time. Takes heat number 1. Second now is Irwin, 2:28.74, and he takes 6 off of his best, so exciting stuff. Zupnik was third, but the board isn't showing me the time quite yet. A real close race for fourth was Lehman and Boston, who are both 2:43. It'll be Colvard who rounds out the pack at the wall here. But Schattenberg's 2:20.55 takes the win. As I've remarked before, I love cheering for a fellow Frederick cadet, and he puts up another nice swim in heat number 1.
That brings us to event number 6 of these boys 200-yard breaststroke, heat number 202. Final heat of the session. 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, so this is going to be our final heat of this morning's session. Per usual, we're ahead on our timeline, so those at home, you can thank us for that. Getting you off to the rest of your Sunday. This is heat number 2 of the boys 200 breaststroke. In lane 1 is Singley, and 2 Keating, 3's Welker, 4 Farina, 5 Lee, 6 Moran, 7 Desclose, and 8 Eastep. We've seen a few Easteps throughout the day, so this is Derek Eastep in lane 8. The leader at the first 50 mark is actually Liam Keating up in lane 2. He's 29.95. Top seeds Farina 2:12.29. Ryan Lee in lane 5 isn't much off the top seed time either. He's been 2:12.75 at his best. I'm cheering for Ryan Lee a little bit. We took a lifeguarding class together last week, so that's one way to make friends. I don't know if he'd call me his friend, but anyway. And at the halfway point, it's going to be right between, Keating and Farina for the lead. Keating still got it by a quarter of a second. 1:04.54 is his 100 split. 2:18's been his best. So he'll look to lower that best time. The question is if Farina can piece together a nice second half here and get close to that 2:12 he's been in the past. Ryan Lee's not out of the question. He is just about a body length between the two leaders, and in between them, Ethan Welker's right there as well. He's been 2:14.78 at his best. They've got him by 2 or 3 body lengths, but he's definitely in the podium position, as is Ben Desclose in lane 7. 1:40.40 for Liam Keating, led at the 150 mark, but it was by a tenth of a second. Interestingly, for the first time in the entire heat, it looks like Farina now has the lead. Farina trailed by about a second or a half a second throughout, and he's now got the lead by maybe a foot or two with 5 yards remaining, and Ryan Lee finished it really nicely as well. The question is who will be second. It was Ryan Lee for second, who passed Keating right in the home stretch, but Farina definitely took the win. 2:15.88, a little shy of the previous best, but a nicely split race. 2:16.27 is good for Lee for second, who swam the nicest second half out of the group. Keating was third, 2:16.84. So that rounds out this morning's session. I'll let our public address dismiss the people on deck, and I'll check back in a second.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming to the Keystone Aquatic New Year's Eve Invitational. I know New Year's Eve has been a couple weeks ago, but Pennsylvania criteria laws required us to start this meeting a couple weeks later than we planned. We'd like to welcome everybody back to our next meeting, which will be coming in 2 weeks. We'll be back again for the winter invite, which will be followed by the Penguin Plunge, my favorite day of the year, the Penguin Plunge. So make sure you clean up the area that you're at, please. And both pools are open for warm-up and warm-down before we have a half-hour break before we get into our 500 freestyles. All right, thank you.
Okay, so we just saw a nice finish to our morning session. We've got an hour and a half before a 12:30 start for some 500 freestyles. I don't know how many we're doing, but at 12:30 we kick off session number 6, which will be some heats of 500 free. Thanks for joining us this morning. Stay tuned and enjoy the 500 freestyle session at 12:30. Get some lunch in you, rest up. We'll look forward to seeing you then for the next session of the Keystone Aquatics New Year's Invitational.